Hey guys, another day, another video on how to be a digital nomad. I'm Kristin, this is my channel, and today I'm coming to you from the forest in Bulgaria, here in the mountains of Bansko, and it just occurred to me, it's a Thursday afternoon, and I wanted to do a video on what are the best things about the digital nomad lifestyle, because this kind of epitomizes it, really, to be hiking on a work day, but that's one of the things you can do. So I wanted to talk about the top 5 things that I think are the best parts of being a digital nomad. Disclaimer, there's a lot to talk about, so I'm going to summarize this as concisely as possible, but there will be a longer form blog article linked in the description below if you want to get all the details about why it's so great. But anyway, let's just talk about the highlights, shall we? So first things first, being a digital nomad is synonymous with freedom. Freedom, 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 location independence. I mean, this is why we do it, right? And as long as I've been a digital nomad, since before it was being a digital nomad, I've never taken it for granted. I just love it every day. I'm always pinching myself. It's just crazy in a way, but it also feels so natural. Like, it feels like this is what being an adult should be like, just being able to have control over your day and your life and your future. So for me, I've noticed that freedom is a very broad term, but as a digital nomad, it's kind of on a spectrum. So you have everything from like micro freedom to macro freedom. And it could be, of course, on a large scale, what you do for work and where you do it and who your clients are, who you work for, things like that. And then on a micro scale, it could be like very small things in your daily life, like what time you wake up, where you work, whether it's at home or at a co-working space or in a cafe. And even throughout the day, one of my other digital nomad friends and I were talking about this yesterday, of how throughout one workday, we might choose to work at home in the morning, then do a couple hours in one part of the co-working space, then move to another building or another room in the co-working space after lunch, and then maybe go to a cafe and have a coffee and work from there. So it's like all of these little freedoms that just add up, and I just love it, and I'm super grateful for it all the time. There's a freedom to being a digital nomad that's almost hard to put into words, and it happens in these like fleeting moments, like where I'm riding my bike through Amsterdam in the moonlight, or walking home from a co-working space in Paris and seeing the Eiffel Tower lit up and just being like, is this real right now? So yeah, it's pretty cool. A close second to freedom is being able to spend more time with your friends and family. Now, a lot of people say that they're lonely in the digital nomad lifestyle, which can happen and is talked about in a different video that I'll link below about kind of the downsides of being a digital nomad, because hey, nothing's perfect, but I really love being able to spend more time with my friends and family. If you guys are familiar with the blog Wait But Why, you may have heard of a concept called the tail end. And what this is basically by the time you turn 18, you've already used up 93% of the time that you'll ever have with your parents. And it's almost the same with your siblings. Like, you end up with having used like 85% of your lifetime that you'll ever spend with your siblings. And like, for me, when I read this is really tragic. Like, this is sad. So I really stepped it up with how often I intentionally went out of my way to see my family. Some examples are when my niece was born, I moved to California temporarily to stay near my brother and spend time with her. When my grandpa died, I literally moved back to Florida for a year and a half to help my grandma out and just work from there. It was awesome, and I got to see her. I have cousins spread all around the world, so I'll go to London, New York, Austin, Texas, and just hang out for a while, use it as a home base, and get to see my cousins. My sister lives in Vegas. I spend every summer there, staying with her, working from there. It works super well. And then of course, with my parents, I get to see them at any time of year, not just during holidays. So being able to spend more time with friends and family, meeting up with friends when they go on business trips abroad, or traveling with them if they're other digital nomads. I mean, this is just awesome. Like, my best friend lives in Australia, and I go visit her, stay at her house, go surfing, work from there. It's so cool. So the third thing that I think is amazing about the digital nomad lifestyle is something I like to call life optimization arbitrage. If you're familiar with financial concepts, this basically means taking advantage of a price discrepancy, and I've applied it to many areas of my life, not just financial, where let's say you make $10,000 a month and you move to a place that has a cost of living of $1,000 a month. That's one cool example, but also in other areas as well. Like with the financial part, there's a general rule of thumb, which I think is pretty crazy, that you shouldn't spend more than 30% of your income on rent. But if you're a digital nomad, you can decide if you want to spend 10% of your income or 1% of your income on rent. Like in Bulgaria, I'm spending 150 euro per month on rent. That's my choice. Obviously, I make more than that, but I just wanted to save money, and this is a great place to do it. Whereas I went to Japan for different reasons, not to save money, but to have fun and do some other stuff, and I spent $3,000 a month on rent, which kind of hurt, but like, you can just decide, and it's a trade-off as to what you want to spend money on and where you want to save and reinvest in your business. Another life optimization aspect is with time. So this means choosing what time you work, what time you eat, what time you sleep, and also not just where you work for fun. Let's say you want to go to a certain country because you like it there, but you can actually choose which hours of the day you work related to which hours of the day your customers, clients, coworkers, boss, and remote team are working in. So maybe you function better at night. So you move to Europe or Asia and you work in the afternoons or evenings when your team is in New York or San Francisco and they are 7, 10, 12 hours behind you. You can basically get a whole day of work done before people even wake up, or take the morning off and work in the afternoons or something like that. You don't have to work just 8 to 5. Another example of this is travel arbitrage, cultural arbitrage. So choosing a place to live where you like the way of life and it works with you and your personality. Travel, being able to always travel on the cheapest days at the best times and the best, most direct routes. I mean, it's so great to be able to spend less money on travel for a much more chilled out experience and just avoid any peak travel times. I do this constantly. It saves me thousands of dollars a year, and I get where I'm going in a better way and a better mood. The fourth main benefit for me for being a digital nomad is being in full control of my health. So this means I get to decide what time I go to bed, what time I wake up, what my daily schedule is like, what I eat, when I exercise, and I just optimize it for my own personal health and well-being. It really sucks that people have to commute to work and get up so early if they want to go to the gym, like 4 or 5 a.m., have a long commute, be stuck in that air-conditioned office where they're freezing and they're catching a cold or a sickness from somebody else, and then have to fight traffic or whatever on the way home, and maybe eat lunch at their desk or eat on the run. I mean, this, in my opinion, is contributing a lot to like this global health crisis, especially in places like the US. People go to work and they gain weight. But when you're a digital nomad, you can decide when you want to work out, how long you want to work out, and you have more time to prep your food or put more thought to what you're putting in your body. So you can really make more conscious decisions about that and find a rhythm, like whether it's sleeping or what time you eat during the day without having to ask permission really, or make it fit around a specific schedule. This goes for medical care as well. You can completely lower your cost of medical care by choosing which country to get that care in. There's medical tourism industries in a lot of countries around the world, from Thailand to Costa Rica. I just went to the dentist here in Bulgaria, and it's usually a fraction of the price of places like the US, for example, because let's face it, it's the most expensive place. And you can save with health insurance and travel insurance, and also the care is usually just as good or better. I actually have my doctor's phone numbers and I talk to them on WhatsApp. So if I have a question, I just text them. I don't have to like fly there and make an appointment, and that's pretty cool. And finally, my number 5 top thing about being a digital nomad is meeting awesome people. This is great. Sometimes I look at my Facebook and I just think it's so crazy how many friends I have all over the world, and it would have never been like that if I never made the decision to move abroad and travel and become a digital nomad. Some people, even though I don't see them very often, I know that they're always going to be like lifetime friends. So even though it can be a bit lonely in the digital nomad lifestyle, you do have the opportunity to just meet such a larger volume of really diverse but also like-minded people who have things in common, who like adventure, who like travel, who are open-minded, who are ambitious, and things like that. So when it comes to the dating pool or just friendships, networking, mentors, anything, I find being a digital nomad to be really above and beyond anything that I've ever experienced back in my hometown. There's also so many conferences and events that you can go to throughout the year. So depending on where you live, where you're working, and what types of things you're doing, like really the world is your oyster. You can meet as many new people as you want, and people are typically more outgoing, more open, and friendlier when they're on the road as well, because they don't want to be alone either. I have friends that are locals, that are foreigners, that are digital nomads, like from all walks of life, and it's just really cool. On another note, you can also avoid people that you don't like, which I do. I don't care, no shame. If you work with a coworker that you really don't like, you have to make it work. But if you're a digital nomad and there's people that you vibe with and there's people that you don't really want to be around, you can just not hang out with them. So you're not really wasting your time hanging out with people who really don't do it for you. I don't know how else to say it. Maybe it sounds mean or not diplomatic, but yeah, like if people have bad vibes, like I just hang out with other people, and my life is better and I'm happier for it. So those are the top 5 things for me about being a digital nomad. Are you guys already digital nomads? And if so, what is your favorite part of the lifestyle? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments. Let's discuss. And if you are new or just planning to start your life as a digital nomad and you have questions, also post that in the comments below. And I have a Facebook group for people who want support with achieving the lifestyle or sustaining it long-term, and it's called Long-Term Digital Nomad Success. So if you guys want to continue the conversation over there, I will link to that below as well. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you found value in this video, and I will see you next week. Ciao!